This is the only sport where you can train 20 hours a week, eat like a monk, ride like a machine, and still get taken out by a cameraman, a bottle rule, a fan with a sign, a stray horse, or your entire Peleton forgetting how maps work.
Oh my goodness.
The entire Peleton is right behind him. This is absolutely a disaster.
Seriously, what the f is going on? These moments are so chaotic, so stupid, so beautifully disastrous, you'd swear the sport was being written by the same people who script reality TV. Like that time fans decided to turn Alpe d'Huez into a flammable art project. Tour de France 2018, Stage 12 Alpe d'Huez, the mountain that turns men into myths and fans into complete idiots. See, this climb is supposed to test lungs, not brain cells. But that year, the crowd went full rock concert, smoke bombs, flares, flags, and enough beer to drown common sense. And right in the middle of it, Vincenzo Nibali. Focused, calm, composed. Until a fan's camera strap lassos his handlebars and drags him down like a cowboy audition.
Froome is attacked, Nibali's down, Nibali is down, and that is not what we wanted to see.
The man hits the deck, fractures a vertebra, and still finishes the stage. See, I love cycling fans, I really do, but sometimes you've got to look at the crowd and just say, maybe passion isn't supposed to come with brain damage. But if you think that's harsh, wait till you see the Peleton itself pull off the kind of stupidity that deserves its own Netflix moment.
Now and take a look at what happened during yesterday's stage of the Tour of Algarve. After riding nearly 120 miles, the leading group were heading towards the finishing line but were steered in the wrong direction next to the course.
National Road Championships 2019. Cycling's supposed to be simple. You ride fast, you turn left when the sign says left, and you pray your chain doesn't betray you. But somehow, this race turned that into a group IQ test. Roundabout ahead, even with marshals with signage, the entire Peleton still went the wrong way. Team cars followed one after another. Honestly, see for yourself. The marshal's flapping his arms like he's landing a Boeing. It was chaos, horns, panic, a full city centre meltdown. But the best part? Half the group didn't even realise they were lost. They just kept pushing like, maybe this is part of the route. And speaking of parts, this is the one where you laugh, I rant, you hit the subscribe button, then I tell you about the time riders thought throwing bottles into the crowd was a good idea, but they were met with criminal charges. Say hello to Bottlegate. Tour of Flanders 2021. Cycling used to have its own love language. The fans dress up, the riders wheelie past them, it was romance. And sometimes that romance came in plastic form, the bidon toss, a tiny plastic souvenir that said, "Thanks for standing in the rain while I suffer." But apparently the UCI took one look at that and said, yeah, that looks criminal. In 2021 at the Tour of Flanders, we witnessed history, the day kindness got outlawed. Michael Scher, cooked after 4 hours of racing, tosses his bottle to a fan. Wholesome moment, right? Nope, he was disqualified, because apparently generosity is a crime scene now. Minutes later, Letizia Borghese, same story. Meanwhile, guys like Geraint Thomas, Gianni Moscon, Carlos Verona and Rui Costa were all fined. Because forget doping, bottle littering is the new felony. Not, the part where a car takes out a rider mid-race. Yeah, that actually happened. Tour of Flanders 2015. Imagine training 200 kilometers only to get taken out by your Uber. Team cars are basically part of the sport. They fix your chain, hand you a wheel, sometimes even hand you the race. But in 2015, one Shimano car decided its brain cells were clearly on vacation. So it decides to reenact a Fast and Furious scene. The first victim? Jesse Surgeon. The Shimano car veers right into him like it's nothing.
Oh no! Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
Surgeon's race over. His bike folded like an origami project. You'd think that'd be the end of it, but no, minutes later, same car, new victim, only this time it's even worse. At that point, it wasn't neutral service anymore, it was active aggression.
Is that another neutral service car?
Is another neutral service car.
That's the car in question.
2 riders down, 1 brand reputation totaled. A historic moment for the "what were they thinking" archives. But that was just the trailer. The full movie came later. Tirreno Adriatico 2023. If cycling had a group project, this was the one where everyone gave up halfway through. Jumbo-Visma rolled out looking like a military operation, aerodynamics sharp, pacing flawless, helmets lined up like stormtroopers ready for battle. But then came the crosswinds, nature's way of saying nice formation, shame if something happened to it. Suddenly, the perfect yellow line turned into a live-action version of Domino Effect.
Very, very slippery. Everyone goes down like Skittles, and the whole Visma team is down.
Riders were flying backwards. By the halfway mark, Wout van Aert was the only man left. You can see it in his face. That moment, every cyclist realizes the team plan is dead, and survival is now a solo sport. But while riders are being yeeted sideways by 80 km/h crosswinds, the UCI have been keeping busy. Tour of Poland 2020. From Wouter Weiland losing his life on a descent at the 2011 Giro to Remco Evenepoel flying off a bridge in Lombardy, cycling consistently reminds us that danger isn't a glitch, it's part of the code. But somehow the UCI looked at all that tragedy and said, cool, let's build a finish line into a weapon. Stage 1 of the tour was a downhill sprint so fast it could double as a wind tunnel experiment. And up front were Fabio Jakobsen and Dylan Groenewegen, both hitting 80 km/h chasing glory and a hospital bill. Groenewegen leans just slightly and boom.
Groenewegen, Jakobsen, Jakobsen into the bars! Absolutely hellish crash on the finish line.
Jakobsen's launched into barriers that fold like wet cardboard. Then he was in a coma for days. Multiple surgeries, broken bones, nearly lost his life. And the UCI's big move after that? They banned bottle throwing. Not unsafe barriers, bottles. Because nothing screams rider safety like solving head trauma with recycling rules. Paris-Roubaix 2022. You'd think after the Allez Opiomi apocalypse on the Tour de France, fans would have learned the ancient art of standing still. But this guy said, hold my beer. Paris-Roubaix 2022. Yves Lampaert, flying, locked in, first in the breakaway, podium in sight, and then...
I think he actually... There was a spectator there on the right-hand side that he hit, and it just threw him off. He lost his right hand off his handlebar.
The replay says it all. This fan leans over the barrier, arms out like a human finish line barrier, catches his bars, and bang, Lampert's cartwheeling into reality. That's it. Dream gone, podium gone, dignity gone. He finishes 10th on a service bike 2 sizes too small. Meanwhile, the fan just keeps clapping. That's a new low on the cycling IQ chart. He asked for support, not emotional. Vuelta 2022, Stage 10. The Vuelta 2022 was one for the books, but Stage 10, not so much. Fred Wright, Remco and Primož Roglič, among others, were leading the sprint. Legs empty, heart full, victory right there. Fred throws up his hands, the classic "I've done it" moment, except he hadn't. Wright veers slightly, clips Roglič, and both of them crash on the finish.
Roglič crashes! Roglič crashes!
Roglic's rage could power a wind farm. Fred's face? Disbelief. It's dumb, really. The guy celebrating wipes out the guy still fighting. Seriously, if you're gonna celebrate early, at least make sure you're subscribed. That way one of us actually wins something. But this next dude, he managed to win and lose in the same screenshot. 2020, Liège-Bastogne-Liège. Some riders trained for years chasing the perfect moment. Julian Alaphilippe found his And for 3 seconds, he loses it all, and I mean everything: common sense, awareness, and the race. After over 250 kilometers of attacks, chases, and climbs, Julien Alaphilippe put up one of the most impressive times in history. The crowds roaring, cameras flashing, is poetry in motion. Except halfway through his victory grin, this happens.
Philippe comes across him. Here she pulled his foot out. Roglic challenges on the right-hand side. Did Alaphilippe celebrate too early?
Turns out the next rider was still in frame, still sprinting. And in an instant, Julien's win evaporates faster than his lactic acid. He was the fastest man alive until reality hit playback. That's cycling for you. 1 second you're a hero, the next you're a meme with a timer. But that, all of that, is nothing compared to the story of these 3 champions. 1 corner, 0 grip. Tour of Basque Country 2024. Unlike 2022, 2024 was already a bad year for Bones, but stage 4 of the tour in Liège-Bastogne-Liège made it official. Wet roads, sharp descent, and 3 of cycling's biggest names playing slip and slide at 70 km/h. Evenepoel, Vingegaard, Roglic, 3 champions, 1 corner, were all faced with the same question on the corner from hell. Remco hits the deck, Vingegaard skids across him like it's a figure skating duet, and Roglic? He just shows up late to the crash like it's a reunion special. The helicopter shot says it all. Carbon everywhere, medics sprinting, and the UCI still calling it unfortunate conditions. And the dumbest part? That was supposed to be the safe descent. But if you thought that was painful, wait till you see the race that got so crazy they had to stop it entirely.